people are always telling me at work that, you know, I've got the personality for it, and I've got, well, yeah, and
yeah. People at work.
yeah.
What do they know? Acting, is it valuable? Is it valuable? So I'm here with Tom Jefferson. It's a president.
Like the president, yeah.
Yeah, you've heard that before?
Yeah, once or twice, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is it Tom or Thomas on your birth certificate?
It is Thomas, but I tend to go by Tom.
Is that why?
Well, to have a degree of separation, yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I get...
That's 200 years. I mean, I don't think anyone would say, oh, there he is.
No, it's more to sort of, I want to forge my own legacy, you know, and...
President Tom.
Maybe.
So you are an actor. You've been coming to, well, frankly, amazing sessions for the last year that have not been really, well, dealt with in the right way. I mean, you may have heard, it's all around town, that my wonderful ideas were brutally put down by an ex-friend.
Oh, is that... I hadn't...
You hadn't heard that? Okay, well, surprising, because it was all around town. So maybe you're not around town enough. But that's what happened. So we're pivoting, because there's no point flogging a dead horse. There isn't really, I mean, I don't like animal cruelty. I don't think there's any point flogging a horse, a live one, you know.
Depends on the extremity of the flog. I think if you're just a little giddy up.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Flogging to me is sort of over the top. Maybe I'm changing the definition. It's just like extreme violence.
It's got those connotations, hasn't it?
It does.
Stripping the skin off the back.
Yeah.
Navy.
Don't flog horses, dead or alive. So I wanted to know, it says, I wrote this down, what is your acting journey? Because actors do have journeys. And what's yours?
Well, I mean, I came to things quite late, actually. So I'm nearly 30 now, and I probably only really saw myself as an actor from about age 26, 27.
God, what did you do before that?
I worked at PC World, Curry's PC World.
Oh yeah. Were Curry's involved when you started? Because how long has that been going on? When was that takeover?
10 or 15, that's a long time ago. So no, it was always Curry's PC World for me.
Awful place.
What makes you say that?
Oh well, I tried to buy like one of those routers once. When back in the days, this is mid noughties when you had to plug them in. This was up in Wembley, I think, near the stadium, but not that close. You couldn't see it out the window. And the guy we kind of handed this thing over just to buy it, and I don't know what he was doing. He was just kind of looking at it and then getting other customers. Like he'd look, and like he'd serve someone else, and we were like, oh, maybe something important is happening, because you're kind of being quite polite about the whole thing. You go, oh well, he is the expert because we are at PC World.
Yeah,
Curry's PC World. Is it? It might have just been PC World then.
PC World, yeah.
Maybe the Curry improved it, and this guy just he'd serve somebody, and we go, what? Are we going to progress at all? Oh, he put it down. He served someone else. I can't remember how it played out, but I think we had to, like, go to like someone else entirely. I don't think you should have to do that.
Well, no. It sounds like you've had an awful experience there.
It was bad. It was bad.
You
see, the thing was though, we still bought the thing, so they didn't really lose out, and I didn't complain about him because I was in my 20s then, and you sort of let stuff fly, you know. Yeah, you do. So you go, oh, but you just kind of.
Well, I'm sorry for reawakening that
Not your fault.
Is it too strong
Sounds
to
like
call?
you weren't even there then. So.
No, and I wasn't in Wembley ever.
No.
But yeah, so I mean, I did a little bit of amateur dramatics when I was maybe up to about 14.
Mm-hmm.
But then
Bugsy Malone.
exactly, your Bugsy Malones, your little shops of horror and whatnot. But you didn't really see a clear path to anything from there. I'm from a little town in the north of England, and there's not a great deal of
No.
arts funding then or now, really.
No.
And so yeah, I got onto the jobs train, and then always had that bit of a bee in my bonnet about it. And you know, people are always telling me at work that, you know, I've got the personality for it, and I've got, well, yeah, and
yeah, people at work.
yeah.
What do they know?
Well, I mean, they know me quite well.
Yeah.
But you mean in regards to the
Yeah,
to the
like
industry?
how much personality you need. I mean,
Uh,
how much personality? Look, don't get me wrong. There are many people who've been successful in acting who've got no personality.
Mm-hmm.
Can happen, but it helps to have some. I think the real big stars do have some personality, some engagement before, like, the Hollywood system, you know, grinds them down, eats their soul, and end up on private islands
Right.
doing private island things. That's unfortunate when that happens.
Well, I try and harbour
Dreams.
slightly more optimistic plans than.
Oh yeah, they did too. They did too, and that's for the ones who it worked out. You know, what's that song? Do you know the way to San Jose?
Mm-hmm.
Burt Bacharach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lyrics to that. LA is a great big freeway. Then drive a car. Sooner or later they'll make you a star.
That's
Weeks turn into years, and all the stars that never were are parking cars and pumping gas. Yeah?
well. There you go.
Which isn't what they planned.
No.
There's only so many spots at the top. And the kind of people who are deciding on who sits in those spots are the worst people imaginable. If they had a military behind them,
Mm-hmm.
they would take over a country,
Yeah.
disappear all the sexy women, kill all the larger men, like Pol Pot killed...
He killed the sexy women.
Oh no, they were disappeared, and he killed anyone who wore glasses,
Ah.
right? Because he was like, well, if they're wearing glasses, they might be more intelligent than me,
Mm-hmm.
which is obviously insecure.
But he was much more of a
Communist.
I was going to say dictator than
Yes.
a film executive.
Yeah,
So
but
that's what he's more known for.
They would be. I mean, I know a couple of people just in streaming, not even like top of Hollywood, just in streaming in this country, and I swear to you, if they were ever given military power, that would be the end of democracy in this country. Gone.
Possibly.
Gone. Awful people.
Mm.
So that's your acting journey. What advice are you seeking today?
Well, I guess, like I say, you know, it's only been in the last few years that I've tried to sort of get back on the horse. So I'm quite
from
green.
14 to 27ish.
Yeah, 27ish. And so I'm just wondering a few things really. What's the best way to approach? Because my real passion is on the stage, and I've been lucky enough to come here over the past year and do a lot of discussing film and TV with you and other lovely talented actors, or prospective film and TV, I should say.
Some
possibly.
of them, yeah.
And so I think I'd like to know what is the clearest pathway that you know of to getting more sort of stage work. I've always had a dream of being on the Globe, for example, and
The Globe, that's the Shakespeare one, isn't it?
that's the
That's
Shakespeare one.
on the South Bank that they kind of they mocked up. I've never been. So I walk past it sometimes. I've walked past it a few times since it's been open. I don't know when it opened. 1990?
The rebuilt version or the original?
Well, the original I know is very old, but the
Mhm.
rebuilt one, maybe 30 years. I walked past that a couple of times and I thought, oh, I should go and see something there.
Yeah, it's a lovely venue.
Never did. But yeah, I don't, theatre, fascinating. Great, some really good singers, really good projectors. I often say on film sets, could you be a bit louder?
Mm-hmm.
And I say it like that because like saying the word louder loudly might remind them what it means as well, because you need to really kind of, there needs to be a couple of levels with some of these people. So I do love a projector. Whenever we get someone who was stage-like, I do stage, and you get them to do a film, and they'd be interested in doing a film because they were like, well, I'm always on the stage. No pleasing people.
Right.
If you ever got on the stage,
Yeah.
you did a year on the stage, you'd be like, God, I'd love to be in a film. That's what it's like.
Maybe.
I don't know anything.
Is there anything you could...
Stage, not really. I mean, it's all pretty seat of the pants stuff.
Okay.
It's like, oh, do you sing? Do you sing? Do you do musical?
I can sing a little bit. Yeah.
I don't think that a little bit will be enough. I think you need to be good at. So here's the first piece of advice: get really good at singing, because people like musicals far more than they like plays. This is just people. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that's what they're like. Okay,
Right.
and if there's one thing I know lots of things, but I know if there's one thing I know, it's what people like,
Sure.
and what they like is musicals and not plays.
Why do you think that is?
Short attention spans. So just somebody in the distance talking. You can hear them because they do project. That's fine. But you go, oh, what's for dinner?
Scene's getting boring.
Whereas if somebody
Ba-ba-ba.
bursts into, leaps on
Food glorious.
one of those, like the there's no business like no business. Yeah.
What was that? Was that Miss Saigon?
Yeah, it might be. Was it? Yeah, it could be. Or South Pacific. It's one of those.
Yeah.
And so people love that because they love a kind of little explosion. I'm always told on this format, listen, you need to distract people every 5 seconds. That's why we have to cut to this and back, because people just can't handle it. You have to move stuff around. You have to put something in that surprises them. It's hopeless. It really is the end of days. So I would say just get really good at singing. Because if you're not good at singing, if you can't do musicals, you're cutting yourself out of 75% of the jobs.
Yeah.
Really find a singing coach. Really get into it. Really hammer it out. Everyone can sing, right? And that's what they'll say too, because it's a really good way of getting money out of beginners. But I've got no vested interest, and I still say it. Everyone can sing. They just need a push and some confidence. And the two things, I think if you get pushed, if you're confidently pushed, there's something about that flows through the pusher into the receiver of the push. The pushed. Oh.
Confidence.
Yeah. I would say that would be your number one port of call. Get good.
Yeah.
Get good there. Well, it'll take a couple of years, cost a bit of money,